the definition of off grid is just meaning that you're not using public utilities and things like that, right? So like in the fitness world, like Stevie was saying, you're just not plugging in your equipment, right? And so for the most part in fitness, most equipment doesn't need to be plugged in. Like obviously a set of dumbbells doesn't need to be plugged in. But what we're talking about and what we're going to talk about is like the treadmills, any type of rower, an elliptical, or any type of equipment like that, like a Stairmaster or anything like that that you might get that needs to be plugged in for it to work. And there's a ton of benefits to having those equipments, and that's cool. But to not have those and to kind of develop your home gym, your garage gym around not having to plug everything in is a huge, huge thing from just a ease of use, not having to plan for electricity, going to save you some money. So I just think it's a great thing to consider for sure.
Yeah, and that includes where the trend's going with smart fitness. I have a Tempo studio in here, also Nordic Track Vault, Tonal, all
Yeah,
these different things, and I'm mindful of that because I live in Florida. So obviously, a
sure.
hurricane could knock stuff out. You live in the Midwest, so a huge snowstorm could knock
Yep.
everything out. And by the way, an off-grid ice plunge would or a cold plunge would be great for you during
Well,
the
yeah,
winter.
yeah,
Well, you have a pool, so
I do. Yeah.
that's exactly what that is. So,
Yep.
yeah, there's lots of different stuff that people could do. And actually, when I was doing a little bit of research on my own, we just kind of came up with it as we were talking
Yep.
pre-production. But as we were trying to develop, okay, what's off-grid living going to look like? I'm like, wow, it's amazing. I'm a big fan of the stuff I don't need to plug in. I have an air bike. You have an air bike.
Yep.
I have that Teeter Power 10, which is an elliptical rower, really great piece of equipment. And then recently I've started uploading it on the Stevie Richards Fitness channel. Dude, that total gym is no joke.
Yeah.
Sliding bench training, completely off grid. I could take that thing and literally load it in the back of my pickup truck and take it to the beach. It'll be a little cumbersome, but
Sure.
it's not heavy. You fold
Sure.
it up, take it and have it anywhere. So that right there, I mean, and like you said, dumbbells and a bench, a lever gym. I mean, we're giving all these different examples, but it's really the amount of off-grid choices is actually more than smart fitness choices.
Oh, totally. Yeah, because I mean the basic movements and stuff. And so that's, you know, basic equipment that you're going to use. There's so much that people just don't even really think about when they're doing it. And I don't really, it makes sense because that's what fitness equipment is. It's, you don't have to have it plugged in. But then if you're into the off-grid lifestyle, like fitness is an easy thing to add into it because you can get all kinds of different equipments, and they're making more and more things that don't have to be plugged in, some that run on battery power that work. One thing you brought up, the connected fitness, all the apps and stuff are great. But and being connected, like I have a TV in my home gym, and I have an Apple Fitness, an Apple TV plugged into it. So I have Apple Fitness there. But if the power's out, what am I going to do? Right. And so being able to have some off grid uh, workouts, right? Like take these workouts, write them down so you have them, being able to get to that mindset of how you can come up with a workout on your own to implement the equipment that you do have. Right. So if the power's down and you can't use whatever connected fitness you have, how do I program a workout with dumbbells and a medicine ball and a squat rack, or things like that, and just getting to that mindset so that you're prepared if and when the case that the power's out and you need to work out and you want to just go completely disconnected, or you're setting up your garage and you don't have electricity in the garage, or you don't have enough electricity to run all the different things. I mean, it's just lots of things to consider in there. But the nice part is, to your point, is there's most of the equipment that you're going to purchase is completely disconnected from any type of electricity. So,
Yeah, I left one out, the Fight Camp bag, even though the app is connected and all that stuff to the punch trackers, and there's classes and on-demand stuff, just a
sure.
punching bag, speed bag, jump rope, all these things are great off-grid solutions that you don't. Let's talk about a jump rope. A jump rope is no less beneficial or difficult than an air bike, than a treadmill, than all these different things. So you can have a jump rope. You can literally have everything you need in a backpack, you can load that stuff in a backpack, and then
Mhm.
you can do something called rucking, where the
Sure.
backpack is weighted down and you're walking with weighted resistance. So, especially if you're living off grid on the mountains and you hike and or you go to the beach, you can do that. It's just the options. I was at first when we talked about off grid living, or like you said, just trying to take out public utilities, use solar, dig for a well, do these
Sure.
different things. It looked like we were going to sacrifice. That's what I thought at
Mm.
first. And obviously our businesses require power for
Sure.
editing videos,
Sure.
uploading, internet. But outside of that, how much do we waste in power
Sure.
watching YouTube videos or sitting here just kind of like, okay, I'll take a break, but I'm still sitting here with the screen on. We found when we eliminated what we thought we needed and didn't, as opposed to what we do need, the options were actually endless in a way.
Sure.
We're like, oh, I
Sure.
get it. If I can work out an hour a day on the total gym or the air bike or jump rope, I'm not using the power that we might store with solar and batteries and stuff like that. Or even if we are hooked up to the grid, we're not using that to make it 20, $30 more per month.
Sure.
It's really a cost saving type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The cost savings that come with it. And then I think this speaks to a bigger conversation of like having a home gym and a garage gym and stuff and what equipment you're going to purchase and how to prioritize that so that you don't have to rely on a commercial gym or you don't have to rely on electricity to get a workout in. And there's some simple things like a little jump rope, but you can get a heck of a workout in with just a jump rope. But there's plenty of other things, just buy a small set of dumbbells that don't need electrical power, that don't need to be plugged in, that don't even need batteries. I mean, it's just weights, right? Like you're picking up and putting down weights. You got any of those throat things?
Yes, this episode is brought to you by not the Illuminati, although they were listening or watching, but Pine Brothers. Pine Brothers, soft dish, throat drops. Email me
I still
back.
need to order
Reply to
some.
my email. Reply to my email. Duck it. Reply to the email. Damn it.
Oh shoot.
What I love too? Our families actually are getting closer and more bonded through this off grid kind of exploration that we're kind of figuring out what we're going to do next because
Sure.
every time we get something like say even these things, first thing my wife says is, I wonder if we can make these.
Ah,
And
yeah,
like
sure.
right off the bat, like she wants to make her own candles, she wants to do
Yeah,
all these other things. It's just incredible. And that's what kind of inspired me to say, yeah, I'm plugging way too much stuff in and
sure.
I would love to be able to do that. So what do you think thinking about off-grid fitness, let's just say somebody wants to say, I don't need anything or I don't want anything. I don't
Mhm.
have room for anything. I just have my own body weight, which
Yeah.
technically should be the easiest thing for off grid. But I think people are stuck and look around and say, well, it's just my body weight. Where do I begin?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, there's so many places. Body weight is like it is the best place to begin as far as I'm concerned, because you got
No
to
matter
learn to.
what, no matter
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah, and starting and you don't need any equipment, I guess, in a sense, if you're off grid living and you want to just improve your fitness, you don't need any equipment at all, because a lot of times with off grid living, you're there's more work involved because you sacrifice some of the conveniences to be able to do the off grid stuff. So you're a lot more physically active when you're doing that, but you can also do a complete fitness routine even if you live in an apartment and have all the electricity in the world, right? Like you can still have a fitness routine that is completely disconnected from electronics and using just your body weight is a great way to get started. Push-ups, sit-ups, squats. You can do a massive amount of work with just those three movements. There's plank holds that you can do. There's so many different things that come into play with just body weight movement that anybody getting started, you don't need to go buy equipment. You don't need to plug it into anything. And so for anyone that is into or thinking about or considering or whatever want it with the off-grid lifestyle, body weight is really all that you need to get started. And then there's, other pieces and stuff that you can purchase, but you don't have to have anything.